I haven't neglected Canada, okay? I'll still be keeping an ear to all of the stuff that's going on right now. It's just the United States and their politics are a little bit more in the news, a little bit more exciting right now because, okay, yeah, there's an Emergencies Act inquiry going on in Ottawa, and obviously the golden child is out there, you know, getting flued out to different corners of the earth in order to talk about climate change. Nothing funny about that at all whatsoever, but no, while the prince is out there, you know, sowing his royal oats, there's actual business going on in Ottawa, even though it's not going to, again, manifest in anything because this is just going to be another one of those scandals where it's like, Trudeau, you did something wrong. He's like, I'm sorry. And everybody's like, oh, he's so pretty. Fuck. So stupid. An Alberta minister told federal minister. Okay, so an Alberta minister told the federal minister that we should have a bigister because minister implies that we're just really ineffective and tiny. I don't like that. Minister Blair, that he was not telling the truth on Emergencies Act usefulness. No, you don't say. Remember just about 10 months ago at this point? Holy crap, I can't believe that actually happened this year. There was so much stuff that happened in 2022 of substance that it's almost impossible to remember all of it. But yeah, there was a point in time, if y'all remember back in the day, I'm old enough to remember when there was a bunch of trucks in the nation's capital keeping so many different piss-stinking weirdos stuck in, or staying up in the middle of the night with their incessant honking and their goddamn big rigs, and they come from the west, and you guys are just supposed to produce and make money and shut the fuck up. And Ontario and Quebec are just supposed to leech off of everybody. But no, when the West started to fight back, and it's like, no, all of your vaccine mandates and mask mandates are just more of a burden than they are actually a help. So we want our voices heard, and you guys can not do that, and we're just going to show up, and we're just going to protest, and not really cause any harm or anything like that. And it's like, oh, you brought in the military. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. I guess you didn't like the burgers that we're cooking for everybody. Weird. You know, actually, you know, cleaning up the place and making sure that hobos don't shit in the middle of the street. But no, if you want all that back, we'll just leave. Don't worry about it. According to evidence presented at the Emergencies Act inquiry, Alberta's Minister of Municipal Affairs was dissatisfied with the responsiveness of Federal Emergency Preparedness Minister Bill Blair. What a fucking useless position that is. During the Coutts border blockade in February, telling him he was not telling the truth in regards to impact the act had on resolving the situation. We are all grateful that the RCMP, shut up bootlicker, was able to resolve the very dangerous situation at Coutts safely. Oh, are you talking about that time where, okay, everything was all fine and dandy and wonderful until some fucking, let's just call them, what's the nicest way to put this? A false flag effort. Right, okay, that's the nicest way to put it. Somebody with a trailer full of guns was like, hello, fellow protesters. Boy, we sure do hate the government, don't we? Oh, don't mind this windbreaker. Allow me to just turn it inside out. That's what they mean by dangerous situation. And then after that got a suspicious amount of publicity as opposed to the blockade itself. Then it just peacefully disbanded, and the guys that were in charge of it were crying like a Jordan Peterson lecture. Like, oh, god damn it, you guys shouldn't brought your guns, and, oh god, we're gonna have to disband it. It's just so sad. Oh lord. Like, ugh, I understand you guys are doing something laudable, but don't cry in public, you weirdo. But yeah, Blair told then Municipal Affairs Minister Rick McIver in a February 21st text message exchange entered as evidence in the Public Order Emergency Commission. What is true is that Coutts was resolved on the 14th. Yeah, how many days before the Emergencies Act got used? Okay, cool. And we got our own tow trucks after. You could not help, replied McIver. McIver complained that the federal response came too late. To be clear, as your point that we should have invoked the Emergencies Act earlier, no, you were too late and did the wrong thing. My point is saying now would have been better than not telling the truth. Yeah, no, exactly. They figured all this stuff out well beforehand, and then the feds came in. It's like, guys, this is a national emergency. It's like, guys, there is no national emergency. Everything's getting figured out. Well, but what about what's going on at the Windsor Bridge? It's already been figured out. No, we don't like Westerners out here, so invoke the Emergencies Act. It's like, oh, okay. Protesters against January 19th restrictions started impeding traffic at the Coutts border crossing on January 29th. seems like a lifetime ago. They dispersed voluntarily on February 15th after the RCMP seized firearms and arrested several individuals it suspected of wanting to use force against the police. Yeah, they were easily detectable by the badges that they had. Oh, at least the outlines that were underneath their coats. Protesters left to avoid association with a new development. Organizer Marco von Hugenboss said at the time. I remember, I was there for it. According to the text messages, McIver reached out to Blair on February 7th for help with any of the issue of heavy towing equipment. The Alberta government was seeking the means to remove the trucks and farm equipment at the Coutts border blockade, and inquired whether the Canadian Armed Forces had the resources at its Edmonton base. The Edmonton base is huge, by the way. It has so much armament. Kind of amazing. And that's actually pretty far from the border, though. Because if you know the geography of Alberta, Edmonton's just about in the middle of the province, and Alberta's a big old place. I don't think that there's another... There might be one in Calgary, but one that I know specifically is in Edmonton. Driven past it a bunch. It's fucking huge. Blair told McIver on February 8th that he had spoken with the Defense Minister, Anita and conveyed the importance and the urgency of the matter to the CAF. And she's like, where's Edmonton? Is Edmonton a province? Blair did not follow up, hence McIver sent the chaser any update on February 10th and wrote to Blair, still no answer on February 21st, days after the situation had been resolved. Like, yo, you guys want to send somebody over here to clean up some of the trash that they left behind? There's a couple of Kokanee cans and a little Lucky Lager if anybody's interested. You may be aware we invoked the Emergencies Act on February 15th. Oh, February 10th. Oh, okay, cool. Which addressed the tow truck issue quite effectively. Well, where you're at, where you care about in Ottawa. Happy to answer any questions that you have, although I am sure the RCMP can advise you on how it works, Blair replied on the 21st. McIver retorted that Alberta received no help after the Coutts blockade had been resolved. And you know that, said McIver, disappointed to hear you say otherwise. Yeah, but they're all liars, though, and it doesn't really much matter at the end of the day. This is what really pisses me off. Oh, my God. I remember that fucking press conference right there. Oh, my blood pressure is just going up just thinking about it at this point in time. But this is the quality of leadership we have in Canada. You might have seen a few days ago, President Xi, or Chairman Xi from CCP, Xi Jinping, was dressing down Trudeau while he was just staring at the fucking floor like a child. That's who's in charge of this country. Somebody else who was also fearing an armed insurrection. Somebody who wanted his very own January 6th, this time with guns, though, in Canada of all places, After weeks of truckers were legitimately, peacefully out there, adhering to all of the rules, not blocking any roads, as much as revisionist historians would like for you to believe, there was still two lanes of traffic open on every single fucking road, except for the one designated road right out in front of the Capitol building itself. Starts with a W. I forget exactly what it is called because I'm never going over to that fucking shithole. But there was nothing that was going to happen. And any of the MPs that could have waddled their fucking stuffy asses out there to talk with any of these truckers would have figured that out very quickly themselves. But no, we can't be seen with the peasants. Just vote for us every 4 years, or however this fucking stupid parliament ends up working out. Pussies. But Trudeau feared an armed insurrection. So we have a prime minister invoking one of the most consequential things that he has at his disposal because he was scared. I don't want that leader. I don't like Trudeau for a multitude of reasons, but that right there tops it. He is governing, not just from emotion, but from a point of verifiable weakness. He's afraid of his own constituency. Said Freedom Convoy wouldn't be resolved by talking. No, it actually would, because that's all they wanted, was somebody to go out there on the stage, hear them out, and do something about it. See the will of the people, and then have that will at least heard, if not enforced. It would have been resolved by talking, but you are so disassociated from the common Canadian, let alone the common Albertan, because remember, what was his stay in Alberta in all of 2022? 6 hours at the Calgary Stampede to put on a nice white Stetson hat and go, but gosh darn, I sure do love pancakes, and then fly the fuck back out. He likes the money from Alberta. That's it. Prime Minister Blackface said early during the trucker-led Freedom Convoy protest in Ottawa that talking would not resolve it. Early in the protest, Early in the, oh, we can't reason with these people. Have you seen them? They have beards and they drive Kenworths. There's no reasoning with these people. Ugh, I feared that an armed insurrection, according to handwritten notes from his deputy chief of staff. Well, on the other side was a yes or no questionnaire. Will you go out with me? Do you think that I'm cute? Check yes or yes. PM, no to changing government policy. Their goal is to disrupt and undermine government institutions, taken directly from the Nancy Pelosi playbook. Read the note to Brian Clown. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no N there, but I wish there was. Entered as evidence at the Emergencies Act inquiry on November 10th. Talking sure, but that doesn't get... Oh, that doesn't get resolved this way? Bro, I thought you were always a part of that whole coalition where it's like, we need to have a conversation about this, but you don't want to go have a conversation with the people that you're supposed to be prime minister of? No, you're too scared of them because they don't agree with everything that you have to say. They can't undermine democracy by terrorizing populations. No, that's exclusive power and authority of the federal government, I guess. This is bigger than neighborhoods in Ottawa. What are you talking about? Really worries me. Oh my god, worry, fear was written in quotation marks, likely to signify it was said verbatim by Trudeau. The notes appear to be from a February 3rd meeting. February 3rd meeting, wasn't that when he was in quarantine at an undisclosed place? Because he left, because it's like, got a quarantine now, okay, even though this is like just after I got vaccinated and all that stuff. It's like, okay, bye everybody, I gotta go quarantine for like 20 days or something like that. What a fucking bitch. But yes, a meeting attended by Trudeau, the clerk, likely the clerk of the Privacy Council at the time, Ian Shugart, and National Security and Intelligence Advisor Jody Thomas. Much of the note has been redacted, with only passages not redacted by before Trudeau made his comments about are being attributed to Thomas. Situation hasn't changed. Known QAnon agitator has arrived. QAnon agitator in Canada in 2022. Structures being built, Thomas reportedly said. Oh, was that the guy who showed up with like the fresh out of the package swastika flag, who was all wearing like masks and was completely blacked out from, you know, the top of the hairline all the way to the bottom of the chin? Oh, that guy, that known QAnon agitator, the one that you know for sure is an agitator because you fucking sent him there to begin with. That's what you're scared about? Oh. Organizer told presser, no longer a government overthrow. Never was. Now want to end mandates. They've always wanted to do that. That was the entire point of this. But again, so disassociated from reality. And that's where all of this fear and scaredness comes from. It's because there is no understanding of reality. There's no discussion between the oligarchs up at the top and the common plebs that are out here. That Trudeau, the Liberal Party, the NDP, they're all the ruling class. Fuck it, I'll even lump in the CPC, okay, the Conservative Party of Canada. They never came out, never once came out to talk with any of the protesters that were out there. Oh, they paid lip service in the House of Commons so the cameras could catch them looking at their best. Oh, this is going to be a great place and great time for me. I'll be able to lap up all those points. And then, what's his name? Peter Polly Pocket there. After everything was cleaned out off the streets, then he decides to do the old man on the street interview, just saying, look at what Justin Trudeau, he cleared out this peaceful protest that was here. If it was so peaceful and it was just such a big protest, why don't you go out there and talk with them? But no. Now you're going to be the leading voice out there? Get fucked, every single one of you. I'll just stick with Danielle Smith, who's running Alberta right now and doing a damn fine fucking job of it. But don't worry, guys. Trudeau, he's got bigger plans for everybody out there. Trudeau Liberals to facilitate suicide for the mentally ill starting in March. They got my #1 candidate right there pictured. That's if he's not scared about it to begin with. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.